The mental kill zone, how to stay in the fight when others break during special operations selections such as BUDS, SFAS, RASP, INDOC, ANS, whatever unit you're going for. Every man who quits selection has the same look in his eyes. It's not pain, it's not exhaustion. It is quite literally defeat. They step into the mental kill zone where all the self-doubt, the fear, the suffering, it hits at once and they don't come back. What separates the guys who crumble from the ones who push through is that it's not strength, it's not speed, it's how they handle the moment. Everything feels impossible. That's where breaking down happens, and that's what we're going to get into today. So you have to recognize the kill zone before it hits. Every guy who quits says the same thing. I was fine until I wasn't. 1 second they're pushing forward, then suddenly they're spiraling, second guessing, and done. Here's what they missed. The mental kill zone doesn't hit all at once, it sneaks up in layers. It starts with disorientation. The moment when exhaustion makes time and space feel warped, it's doubt when you stop thinking about movement and start questioning everything. It's emotional flooding when your mind and body feel too overwhelmed to act. And then, if you don't catch it, it closes in and you're gone. The guys who make it, they don't wait until they're drowning to fight back. So if you let your mental spiral for even just a few seconds, that mental spiral will go deeper and deeper, and eventually it takes you down. When the kill zone starts closing in, you have a small window to stop it. So here's what doesn't work. Just trying to tough it out. That just lets thoughts run wild. Telling yourself don't quit. The brain doesn't work in negatives. You're focusing on quitting here. So here's what does work. You have to have a physical and mental pattern interrupt that affects the nervous system. Reset your body. Shake out your hands, drop your shoulders, even smile a little bit. Break the tension before it locks in. You have to flood your brain with simple commands, not motivation, just action. One more step, keep moving. Breathe in, breathe out. The second you feel doubt creeping in, you have to override it with this level of action. And so you have to control the voice in your head. You know that voice. It's the one that whispers, you can't do this. The one that starts negotiating, trying to convince you to slow down, to stop, to quit. You don't get rid of that voice. You have to find a way to dominate it. The guys who win the mental battle don't have quiet minds. They have a second voice that's louder and stronger than the first. When the weak voice says you're done, the second voice says, watch me keep going. When the weak voice says, this is too much, the second voice says, good, more for me. When the weak voice says, I can't, the second voice says, I don't care, I'll keep going. If you don't build that second voice before selection, you won't find it when you need it. You have to anchor yourself in something unshakable. Pain alone doesn't break, guys. It's a lack of purpose that does. When things get unbearable, your mind will search for a reason to keep going. If you don't have one, you won't keep going. This is why the strongest guys, the best athletes, even the most prepared, still quit. They built their bodies, they never built their why. And here's what keeps the finishers moving when nothing else makes sense. Promise to themselves, they refuse to break, a reason bigger than their own pain, a vision of who they want to be that will not die in selection. You can't just build the muscle in a gym. You can't just build endurance on a track. You have to build a reason that nothing can break or you won't make it. So selection in itself is a kill zone for the mind. If you don't recognize it coming, you'll get caught. If you don't stop the spiral, it'll take you down. If you don't control your second voice, the weak one wins. If you don't have an unshakable reason, you will fail. This isn't about toughness. It's about who dominates their mind under pressure. That's what makes the last man standing. And that's why you need to start following and start training for this now. If you want to understand exactly how to gain this level of mental awareness, how to switch your mindset to the one that will not quit, how to train in a way that is far more efficient than what anybody else is doing, with a mentor to guide you, who's been there, who's done exactly what you want to do, go to @TheRangerBlueprint on Instagram, follow, send me a DM, and we will get started chatting and figure out exactly what you need to do, my friend. Now it's time for you to get out there and go.